Bohr atomic model. To overcome the drawbacks of Rutherford atomic model, Bohr introduced few postulates to overcome those drawbacks that he analyzed as his own atomic model. So let us see. Before going to Bohr atomic model, once just observe the drawbacks of Rutherford atomic model. So according to Rutherford, inside the atom, the heavy positive charge located at the center of the atom, that you can see inside the diagram, and electrons revolving in circular orbits with different radii, different electrons in different radii. But according to his statement, as electron revolving continuously, it should radiate energy. According to fundamental laws of electrodynamics, any charged body moving means it should emit radiation. So it should lose some amount of energy as it is moving. But as electron losing its energy, its radius should decrease continuously, and finally it should fall inside the nuclei and the entire atom should collapse. But it is not happening generally. Materials are stable, atoms are stable. So due to loss of energy, electron radius should decrease and the entire atom should collapse, but that is not happening in generally. So the atom cannot be stable according to Rutherford, but practically according to our observation it is stable. So he was unable to explain the stability of the atom. That is Rutherford drawbacks. So now to overcome these drawbacks, Bohr introduced few postulates. So those are about nucleus, as it is Rutherford what he gave with his experimental details, as it is Bohr also considered heavy positive charge located at the center of the atom. The major problem of Rutherford atomic model is about electrons only. So for that electrons, he introduced a concept of stationary orbits. So next coming slide I will explain the stationary orbits. Let us go for one more postulate, that is angular momentum is quantized for the electrons revolving around the nucleus. And one more, energy emitted by the atom. If electron revolving in that orbit, it will not lose energy, it will not gain energy. If it jumps from one energy to another energy state, how much energy difference, that much E equals to hm of energy will come out of the atom. So these are just for as a postulates he mentioned. By using these postulates, he derived a particular theory in such a way that for hydrogen atom he able to derive radius of the electron revolving in any orbit, velocity of the electron in the orbit, kinetic energy of the electron in the orbit, potential energy, total energy, frequency, time period, many details able to give. So how he analyzed, let us see. First about stationary orbits. So here once observe the diagram. Inside the atom, nucleus positives are at the center, surrounded by nuclei. We can imagine n number of radii, means different infinite number of radius we can draw. Like that, electron will not take infinite number of different type of radii. It will take fixed radius. Like that, infinite orbits are not there, only fixed finite orbits are there. Each atom has certain definite stable energy states only. Energy states or orbits in which electrons revolve continuously. And one more, as long as electron revolving in these orbits, that electrons will not lose energy and electron will not gain energy. If it lose energy, it will come from high energy state to lower energy state. That we will discuss in next coming slide. So angular momentum quantized. So here electron revolving continuously in the orbit, that type of orbits only fixed few. So which type of orbits are allowed? That is fixed finite set of energy states only allowed, for which angular momentum is quantized. Here quantized in the sense, any quantity, physical quantity available in smallest quantity, any value is integral multiple of that quantity. If you observe, the smallest quantity is h by 2 pi. Any value is integral multiple of h by 2 pi, means the angular momentum value either h by 2 pi, that is the lowest value, next value 2h by 2 pi, next value 3h by 2 pi. So in between just 1.5 h by 2 pi, 2.5 h by 2 pi, like that. In between infinite values not there. That n value is just a positive integer. So here L nothing but MVR. So we can write which is equals to nh by 2 pi, and here n is the principal quantum number, and those values are, just I said, it's a positive integer, or generally we can indicate as a KLMN shells also. Okay. So in next coming classes you will come to know the advantages of n principal quantum number. Now non-radiating orbits. Just now I said, if electron revolving continuously in the orbit, it will not lose energy, it will not gain energy. He introduced the point that is, those are stationary orbits. Those will not lose energy. Electrons will not lose energy if they are rotating inside. If that electron jumps from one energy state to another energy state, then only h mu of energy will come out. So that energy difference, delta E, or final energy minus initial energy equals to h mu. So for that, initial energy should be more, final energy should be less, then only it will be emitted. If not, absorption, it will take the energy and it will go to excited state, that is absorption. We are discussing here about emission. Now with this, postulates are completed. Now theory. So while explaining, I said Rutherford, not only just to cover the drawbacks of Rutherford, he introduced some postulate. Not only that, he gave excellent theoretical information to give the clear picture about hydrogen atom. Let us see. So in that, the first physical quantity is radius of the electron in an orbit. For example, an electron revolving continuously around the nuclei. Consider Ze is the charge of the nuclei in general, not as a hydrogen atom. First I will explain as in general one nuclei. Afterwards Z equals to 1 we will apply, we can get the concept of hydrogen atom. So nucleus charge Za and one electron, for example, revolving. Many are there, just we are analyzing by taking just one electron. For example, it is revolving continuously with velocity v from a distance r. Now to revolve continuously with this orbit, compulsory according to Bohr postulate, angular momentum compulsory should be conserved, nothing but mvr equals to nh by 2 pi. So from this formula we can write velocity v equals to, it is useful if you write like this. So take v equals to nh by 2 pi into mr. Let it be equation number 1. Now one more. So this is equation 1, we consider from angular momentum conserved concept. Now here electron revolving continuously in the circular orbit. So continuously it should have electrostatic attractive force. So due to electrostatic attractive force, electron should be attracted towards the nucleus, but at the same time due to rotational motion the electron should get outward force also. So that outward centrifugal force and electrostatic attractive force both will be balanced, then electron revolve continuously in this circular orbit. So for that, here it is having two forces, one is centrifugal force, that is mv square by r we can write, and as well as Coulombic attractive forces, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 by r square according to Coulomb's law, but here q1 q2 both are charges. So those charges, nucleus charge Za, electron charge E. So we can write expression like this. And if electron revolving continuously means compulsory, if electron revolving continuously inside the orbit, that means both the forces are equal, then only it can revolve continuously. So centrifugal force is equals to Coulombic attractive force. So now these two formulas if you equate, then you will get mv square by r equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Ze into E by R square. Now left side denominator and right side denominator R square get cancelled. Then shift R one side. We want expression for the radius, that is our aim. So R equals to remaining mv square, shift right side, it will come to denominator, then Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught into mv square. Now we already got the equation number 1 in the initial slide. So use this formula here, substitute instead of v that value, that is nh by 2 pi into mr square, then mr whole square. So now further r equals to Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught m into, so that whole square if you apply, n square h square by 4 pi square m square r square. Now further here 4 get cancelled, pi at denominator to the denominator pi square get cancelled, and mass also same, and the remaining part pi m r square, it is denominator to the denominator, if you shift it to the numerator then you will get like this. So this is the expression. If you shift it to the numerator then it will be r equals to Ze square by pi m r square by epsilon naught n square h square. Again left side right side r terms are there, here in r square right side r square square and this side r get cancelled. So we want the radius, so keep r one side, remaining all the terms if you shift other side, r equals to, we will get n square h square. Here in this above expression n square h square epsilon naught, if you shift left side, and remaining this part which is product of r, it will come to denominator, then finally you will get this expression r equals to n square h square epsilon naught by Ze square pi m. So like this we can get the expression for r, but this one we can write in general. Instead of writing only r, if you give just a suffix n, rn means radius of nth orbit equals to n square. So here if you substitute n value, you will get corresponding r value. So different n value means different orbits, so different radius, different orbits, different radius you will get. So let it be equation number 3. But if you observe this equation, the radius of the nth orbit of the electron is directly proportional to r square and as well as inversely proportional to z. So directly proportional to n square, so rn proportional to n square, that we can also write as r1 by r2 equals to directly proportional, so n1 square by n2 square. This formula is useful to solve many problems. Note down separately at one place. Similarly, one more from this expression, rn inversely proportional to z, so rn proportional to 1 by z or inversely proportional to z, so r1 by r2 equals to z2 by z1. So this is about radius, but further here with respect to z we derived, but Bohr analyzed for hydrogen atom. So for hydrogen atom z equals to 1 if you consider hydrogen atom. So for that z equals to 1, if you write z equals to 1 value, so then rn will be n square h square epsilon naught by E square pi m. So let it be star equation. Now if you substitute all the values in the equation, h Planck constant value, epsilon naught permittivity of the medium, small m mass of the electron, and E charge of the electron, these 4 values if you substitute along with the pi value 3.14 other than n, then if you simplify you will get the expression like this, rn equals to all the values if you simplify, just finally you will get 0.529 into n square, the total value will be in angstrom unit. See, with this formula in hydrogen atom, if electron revolving in first energy state or first orbit, we should substitute n equals to 1. So with this formula easily we can say if electron revolving in hydrogen first orbit, the radius of the electron is just 0.529. This is the theoretical achievement of Bohr. Not only radius, he also analyzed about velocity of the electron also. So he derived expression for velocity. Let us see velocity. So velocity of the electron. So for that we can consider two equations. So first equation and second equation both we mentioned about V and as well as about R. So those equations I am taking again. So in equation number 1, at the denominator R, that R value from equation number 2, if you substitute in equation number 1, then you will get expression like this: V equals to NH by 2 pi m into, only instead of R if you write the entire value, then sorry, here R expression is not exactly same. Just a minute. So here we derived R. Take equation number 3. That equation number 3, if you substitute in this equation, so here that is equation number, not equation number 2, equation number 3, if you take and if you substitute, then you will get the expression like this. Now further, instead of V equals to, so denominator to the denominator, that Z square will come to numerator by 2 into NH, denominator that is left out after get cancelling of NH also, and epsilon naught. And further in general, so instead of writing as only V, if you give suffix as Vn, then we can say velocity of electron in the nth orbit. If you substitute different n values, you will get different V values. So now from this equation number 5 also we can analyze many things. That velocity of the electron is depends upon atomic number and as well as inversely proportional to n, principal quantum number. So as Z increases, the velocity of the electron in the same orbit increases. So velocity proportional to Z atomic number and as well as inversely proportional to n. That means if n value is low, velocity of the electron is high, means electron very near to the nucleus will rotate faster than the electron is little bit away from the nucleus, so because inversely proportional. So that equation number 5 if you consider again, and if you analyze Vn proportional to Z and inversely proportional to n. Now the same analysis if you do for hydrogen atom. So for hydrogen atom Z equals to 1. If you write Z equals to 1, then Vn equals to Z equals to 1. So Z value not there, just only E square by 2 NH epsilon naught. Let it be double star equation. Now further here velocity of the electron we got, can we compare with any other known velocities? So known velocities in the sense we have light velocity. If you want to compare, we can compare like this: just multiply with C the expression and divide with C. Then further you want to keep only on C value. For example, write n equals to 1. That means electron in first energy state in hydrogen atom. So if electron revolving in first energy state of hydrogen atom, then we will get the expression like this, that is velocity is E square C by 2 H epsilon naught C. So in that just E square by 2 H epsilon naught C value separately, if you substitute all the values other than just only C, at numerator C kept aside, remaining all the physical quantities if you consider, that is will be a dimensionless quantity. So that value you will get 1 by 137. So if you substitute that one, so here left out thing is only C at numerator. So if n equals to 1, then the velocity of the electron in the first orbit of hydrogen, that is equals to C by 137. Just 137 times less as compared with velocity of light. So electron is also moving faster. Next, energy of electron in stationary orbits. So radius we derived, velocity derived. So by using these two expressions, further we can derive the total energy also. So total energy means that electron revolving and electron is having at a particular position, it is having position. So it is having kinetic energy as well as potential energy. So the total energy we can write as in general En equals to potential energy plus kinetic energy. Let us derive first kinetic energy, next potential energy. If you substitute both in this equation, you will get the total energy. So for that purpose, consider kinetic energy. So according to classical mechanics, kinetic energy is nothing but just half mv square. So kinetic energy half mv square, we got already velocity expression, we derived already. So that velocity expression Vn, if you substitute here, then it will be half m into z square by 2 nh epsilon naught into whole square. Further, if you apply the square, then half m into z square e power 4, denominator 2 square means 4, n square h square epsilon naught square. Further, we can write like this. So finally z square e power 4 m by 2 into 4 will be 8, n square h square epsilon naught square. So let it be equation number 6. So we got expression 6, but still this one also we can analyze, that is kinetic energy proportional to square of the atomic number, and the kinetic energy of the electron is inversely proportional to square of the principal quantum number n. Now potential energy. So potential energy according to electrostatics, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 by r. If two charges separated by a fixed distance r, then the potential energy between the two charges. Now q1 q2, one is nucleus charge, another one is electron charge. If you substitute both, Pe potential energy equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into nucleus charge Ze, electron charge minus A by Rn, radius of the electron. Now if you substitute the radius expression, that is the equation number 3, so then n square h square epsilon naught by z square pi m. So now pi get cancelled, the denominator to the denominator, the term if you shift to numerator, then minus z square into z square m by 4 n square h square epsilon naught square. So here epsilon naught into epsilon naught at the denominator, it will be epsilon naught square. Further if you multiply entire thing, then you will get potential energy equals to minus z square e power 4 m by 4 n square h square epsilon naught square. Let it be equation number 7. Now we got kinetic energy as well as potential energy. If you substitute both in this total energy equation, then kinetic energy we got, potential energy we got, both if you substitute, then the total energy equals to minus z square e power 4 m by 4 n square h square epsilon naught plus z square e power 4 m by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. Now to simplify this one, at potential energy term, multiply with 2 and divide with 2, then we can write like this, minus 2 z square e power 4 m by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square plus z square e power 4 m by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. See here one term is minus 2 of same thing plus same term. So minus 2, another one is plus 1. So minus 2 plus 1 means minus 1. So the final expression will be En equals to minus z square e power 4 m by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. So let it be equation number 8. So now as like radius, as like velocity, how we analyze? If you analyze this one also, first we got potential energy, kinetic energy and total energy. If you observe all, kinetic energy, total energy both are same, only sign different. So total energy equals to minus of kinetic energy. And if you observe, potential energy value is double as compared with total energy and as well as kinetic energy in magnitude. So sign wise, total energy and potential energy same, kinetic energy should be positive value, velocity will not be negative. So this is the comparison between the energies. Now further we can analyze the total energy like this also. So the total energy expression, if you observe, that energy of nth orbit is directly proportional to square of the atomic number and as well as inversely proportional to n square. So that one we can write E1B2 equals to n2 square by n1 square. This formula also useful to solve problems in entrance exams. So further, if you analyze for hydrogen atom, so for hydrogen atom Z equals to 1, if you substitute, so Z square will be 1, so then expression will be just En equals to minus m e power 4 by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. So denominator as same, just numerator Z square not there. Now further, if you substitute all the values other than n, as like for radius we did, all the physical quantities values if you substitute and if you simplify, then you will get the total energy of the electron in nth energy state equals to minus 13.6 by n square electron volt. In electron volt you will get expression like this. This is the total energy expression. Still we have frequency, time period and as well as spectral lines also he analyzed. In next coming topic we will discuss that one. Thank you.